Welcome to the championship deciding race for the Camping World Truck Series. You are looking at the championship 4. I technically lead the points going into Homestead, sweeping the entire round of 8. However, of course, or the round of 6, I should say. Of course, that means nothing going into Homestead because everything zeroes out and resets, and the first one to the line gets the championship. Briscoe, Bell, and Gregson are the competition. And these guys are going to make it very difficult on me. Bell, Briscoe, of course, my championship rival. Cindric, teammate with Briscoe, my championship rival. Cody Coughlin, Brian Dusat, Todd Gilliland, Austin Hill, Regan Smith, Myatt Snyder, JJ Yaley. Those drivers all going to be trying to take me out throughout the race. But because I am so hated, I have decided to fight back. We've finally got a big sponsor in Smithfield. Smithfield everywhere. But you may notice that the truck looks a little bit different. Does that remind you of any certain paint scheme in a certain series of NASCAR for a certain driver who is not particularly the most well-liked at the moment? Yes! We are going to race a Denny Hamlin throwback in the final race of the Truck Series season. And hopefully this purple machine will take us to a championship for Shigeaki Hattori. Without any further ado, let's start the 50% race here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Here we are. We've made it to Homestead. 4 drivers, 4 trucks going for the championship. As you can see, the nice Smithfield purple and orange truck ready to do battle. First, of course, to get in the race, you must qualify. And qualifications are always a big factor in how you perform. But obviously, this time, we're not worried about the stages so much because points really don't matter at the end of the day at Homestead. It's all about that finishing position. But a good qualification attempt will get you that much closer to a championship. So we're still in cockpit view from the last video, but we are about to qualify here at Homestead Miami. I loosened up the truck quite a bit, as you can tell, as I was coming out of the pits there. Truck kind of gave way just a little bit. And 4th gear is incredibly tall. This is why I kind of wish I had put a practice session in there so we could find out what we're made of. But oh well. Here we go. I loosened up the truck not quite to the max. I went to a 46 wedge rather than a 45. And we're just going to have to see how this does as we take the green flag for our qualification attempt here at Homestead. And try to arc it off into the corner as best I can. Truck working its way up the track a little bit. I had to back out of it just a little bit. That's going to hurt my exit speed all the way down the back straightaway. That's going to be not a good thing. So we're going to have to try to reconvene, get it back in there, heading into turn 3 and 4. That's much better. That was a much better line through there. We'll arc it off the corner. Probably could have unwound the wheel a little bit. We'll see where we qualify. 16th. Not bad, considering that we screwed up. We're starting next to JJ Yaley, though, so that's not good because, of course, Yaley is unhappy with me at this moment. So we'll try not to make contact with him. Unfortunately, Christopher Bell took the pole position, and Chase Briscoe is also up there. Let's see where Noah Gregson qualified. I didn't quite see as it was scrolling through so fast. 5th. So we're easily the last of the chasers, but again, it's going to be all about the race. Here we go. Alright, here we go. Ready to race at Homestead Miami Speedway for the final time in the Truck Series, or at least as a full-time competitor, as we will be moving on to Xfinity next year, whether we win this championship or not. We already get into Todd Gilliland. That is going to make him very upset, as everybody moves to the top lane. And now we cycle out onto the back straightaway. We've lost another position there to Gilliland, but we're going to get around the outside of him. Very nice. The problem is driving around the outside is going to be very difficult here because everybody's running in the outside groove. And I'd love to work to the bottom, but Gilliland is there blocking. Probably trying to help out his teammate Noah Gregson. If I was a betting man, as we work all the way to the outside, in behind Austin Wayne Self. We're going to give him a shot off into the corner. Another shot. Put him up into the wall. And into the wall we go. So that wasn't good. As all those trucks decide to go around the outside of me. And we shifted down a gear. Oh man, this is a major choke, but we've got plenty of time to make it back up. We've got 19 laps in the stage. All the way to the back we go. I'm trying to check the damage on the truck. It's not too bad. We've got 23 laps in the tank of fuel. So there you go. That's the situation there. As we work down to the inside, 17 to go on the stage. And now Corbin Forrester's starting to use the bottom of the track a little bit, as the trucks are nice and spread out now, so this should make it fairly easy for me to move back up through the field. That's what we need to be doing right now.
Hold your line. They're all clear.
So clearly you don't want to be stuck on the outside if you've got a fast truck, because you're not going to make any kind of ground. And just shoving people up into the corner is not going to help either. So Tommy Joe Martin's looking to the inside, almost making it 3 wide there with Travis Quaffle, and Wendell Chavis, I believe, is the other truck involved in that situation. 16 laps to go in the first stage. And yeah, whoa, there we go. All the way to the inside, somehow managed to make Tommy Joe Martin's jump out of my way. Clearly nobody wants to mess with the playoff guys at the moment. As we work down the back straightaway here, we're halfway up the field. So that's a good thing. We're almost back to our qualified position. Gonna have to get around Todd Gilliland, Austin Wayne Self. Those trucks were so difficult to get around the first time. It's TJ Bell, of course, not Christopher Bell. Just ahead, 2 Bells in the race. Not sure if they're related or not. I honestly don't know. That would be an interesting thing to ask or find out. As we get down to the inside of TJ Bell. And it's just starting to be tougher swimming as you get up to this point in the pack. As we work underneath Austin Wayne Self. Now that the trucks are spread out, should be a little bit easier. We'll see what happens with Todd Gilliland here. He's one of the trucks that wants to take me out. And of course, he's got a teammate in this fight. But Gilliland was clean and nice to me there. So that's good as we work underneath Stuart Friesen as well and move up into 17th place. Now we move up behind J.J. Yaley, so we're back up to our qualified position. Gragson is starting to fall through the field. He's all the way into 15th place. So trouble for one of the other contenders here. He's a second. He's falling into my clutches, but again, that doesn't really matter. That's, I mean, for third in the championship, who gives a rat's butt about the third in the championship? We need the win, or at least to beat the other 2 guys, or the other 3 guys. We work up into J.J. Yaley. That is not going to be, he is not going to appreciate that, I can tell you that. As he works back around the outside, and now he takes a very defensive line going off into turn number 3. Seems like my truck was slidey through 1 and 2. And now we just got to try to get around J.J. Yaley, but he's clearly not impressed with me because he's moving back down the racetrack. Probably going to move back up into me here. As long as we can just drive around the outside here.
Stay right there.
Gragson tries to block me on the outside lane. Not quite working. We're going to go 3 wide between Gragson and Yaley.
Hold your line.
I'm going to give Gragson a shot going off into turn 3. I think that should help me get around the outside of him as we work all the way in the top lane. And we dispatch almost of one of the championship contenders on our way up through the field. So up to 15th, we're past 1 position where we started. And now underneath Austin Hill, we got a really good run through the center of 1 and 2. We should be around Hill here momentarily as he works back around the outside and gets into that position slightly just for a second. And now we work around the bottom of the track. This seems to be where my truck is the fastest. I think on the pit stop I may loosen the truck up again a little bit here at the end of the stage, as we've still got 10 laps to go. So we've got plenty of time to make up positions. We work our way down the track right next to the white line, and then up the track we go. Tyler Young just ahead. I think he may be another one of the trucks that doesn't like me too much. Cody Coughlin, Myatt Snyder, we know those guys don't like me. We know they don't like me. This is a tenuous situation here. Not one you didn't necessarily want to be in, as we got 9 laps to go. We've got to get around these rivals as quickly and as cleanly as possible. We don't want to aggravate them any. So we give them lots of space. We're going to work to the bottom. Don't want to, again, I'm giving you space, Coughlin. Giving you space. As Young uses the draft of Coughlin to get back around. Let's see what Coughlin does here in turn 3. He will work to the outside as well as Mayette Snyder. That may give me the position at least around Coughlin, but Coughlin's going to get in that draft of Snyder down the main straightaway, and he will get around for just a second. Tyler Young also trying to work his way in there. Not going to happen. And we're going to try to get underneath Mayette Snyder off of turn number 2. Not quite going to happen. Snyder going to stick in there. And a little bit of contact with Coughlin. Coughlin was going to come through me, whether I was going to let him or not. And we work underneath Snyder as it looks like Tyler Young's decided to start using the bottom lane. Smart of him, because I think that's the lane that is moving. Chase Briscoe running in 10th position. So clearly the championship guys are not having a good first stint of this race. Chase Briscoe is the next target. He's still up there quite a ways. I mean, we can get some stage points here theoretically by passing him, but that's about the only thing that's really going to be gained by getting up to 10th place. Let's see what the tire wear is like. I think we are going to have to make a green flag pit stop by the end of this race. If I can find the menu for it. There we go, 71%. So just kind of keeping that in mind for the end part of this race as we work right down along the white line, and that actually got Tyler Young off of my rear end, at least for a little while, as we work down the back straightaway, trying to set off in pursuit of Chase Briscoe. It's not happening at the moment. As we get down, try to apex turns 3 and 4. Not quite where I wanted to be. We're going to run kind of low off of turn 4.
You're getting faster out there.
5 laps remaining in this one. And that is Tyler Young still looking from behind, but nothing doing for Young. 1.6. We are gaining on Briscoe. We need these guys to start racing a little bit harder up here, and I think they are. So that's going to help me out. As we work off of turn 4, right down next to the white line, working our way back up next to the wall, crossing the line, 4 laps to go. 1.6 seconds, 1.7 now, as Ben Rhodes gets passed by Chase Briscoe, so Briscoe goes up in the 9th. And yes, we are putting some space between us and Tyler Young. It just seems like at this point it's tough sledding without a really good run to get up into this lead pack. Now we're starting to get there, but I'm wondering if we're going to run out of laps. It looks like the leaders may be in lap traffic as well, so that's going to throw a monkey wrench into things as we have 3 laps to go in the stage. We work around the white line. So we're about to put down 2 of 4. Obviously, we're the 4th. Championship contender here with Chase Briscoe. I think Christopher Bell is the real challenger. He's the guy we really need to fight. And obviously he's up front, qualified on the pole. Of course, Briscoe qualified alongside him. So Briscoe was obviously able to fall through the field. So hoping that we have some problem with Christopher Bell as we go run our fastest lap of the race right then and there. And this is when we need to be doing it, as we're probably getting a little bit of aid from the draft of Ben Rhodes and Chase Briscoe. Now we work down the back straightaway. Working to the outside of Briscoe. We're going to try to slice in underneath these guys as they kind of sneak up the racetrack, and exactly as they did, what a great move. We move up a couple more positions, and yes, there is some lapping going on. Trucks getting lapped. 1 to go, and that was my best lap ever at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Spotter was very happy with that as we work down right next to the white line. Truex working his way underneath Crafton. This is the last lap in the first stage, and it's been a pretty good first stage for us. Things have started to work into our favor. as the lap trucks are starting to cause some problems, some trouble. But we're not going to have to worry about that as a truck comes into the pits. It's not one of the championship contenders, but we'll finish 8th in the stage. Whew! Okay. So we're going to have to find out where Christopher Bell ended up finishing. Because, yeah, Christopher Bell won the stage. Doesn't really matter all that much in the grand scheme of things, as Briscoe decided to run into the back of me under the yellow. That should be a penalty. As we repair the truck and we fall back to 24th. But I think some people didn't pit, because we're back here with Truex and Crafton and all these guys. Not sure how that happened, but here we go. We're back to racing. We're going to try to work to the bottom, so as Briscoe is not going to let that happen. Briscoe is going to shove me off into turn 1. Being the rival that he is, he's being Dick Dastardly right now. As Briscoe puts me up into the wall, we'll get into Briscoe a little bit. Well, Briscoe's upset with me now for whatever reason. Probably just a dirty driving move there, just trying to wreck me so he doesn't have to deal with me in the championship. Christopher Bell is back here in the mix. I can see him just out in front of this pack. So everybody is fighting for position. Only 28 trucks on the lead lap. And obviously the guys who are up at the front, I don't know how they must have pulled a stage strategy or something to get up into this position. And I don't know where Christopher Bell is. He's up working the top lane behind Todd Gill, and there are so many trucks tightly packed together right now. It's hard to tell who is where. And what is going on is we doored Regan Smith. Not a good choice on my part. And we work our way off into turn 3. We've got to hope that Travis Quaffle holds up Christopher Bell here for a little bit longer. This is the fight for the championship right here. As we almost go up and door Miss Jennifer Joe. Truex is helping us draft down the main straightaway. He's going to give me a good shove down into turn 1. And we're going to lose it. We're going to take Truex with us. It's a Shiggy Hattori cluster in turn 1. And we're still almost losing the truck. The rear end of the truck is damaged. It is damaged, so that's not good. Let's see what it's like to drive off into turn number 3. Okay, it may be better. Man, I went for all for nothing, and I ended up taking my teammate with me. That is not a good thing. How many more laps do we have in the stage? 14, so we still got some good time to make up here.
Keep it right there, clear.
Underneath Clay Greenfield, who has not been the most friendly guy on social media to me. Talking trash every chance he gets, it seems. As we work in behind Grant Infinger to Corbin Forrester, down to the inside we go.
Easy. Hold your line, clear high.
Oh, the truck is so loose now that it's damaged. Around we go. I need to bring out the yellow. It didn't bring out the yellow. I should have completely spun out. That's not good. That is not good. So we're in desperate need of repairs as we pass Cody Coughlin, so Coughlin must be in the pits. Man, this was our opportunity to take the lead, though, I can tell you that. This was our opportunity to take the lead because of the fact that Bell was in traffic. Now things are much more difficult. So since we're so loose, I'm going to try to run the outside lane. That might be the place to run now because of the poor state of the truck, as there's lots of trucks coming into the pits. Noah Gragson is one of them. Interesting. So Gragson was actually leading the points there for a second. I guess desperate times call for desperate measures, and that's why he stayed out. Maybe there's some kind of three-dimensional chess that I'm missing that he's going to be able to pull off a victory here, Noah Gragson, by pitting now. But I think he's going to lose almost a lap and a half, possibly 2 laps, in doing that stage strategy. So who knows? Several more trucks come off into the pit lane, but none of the championship contenders as we move up into 12th position. Working around the outside, I'm just desperately looking for Christopher Bell. Not going to happen. He's on the correct strategy as we're coming up behind Clay Greenfield at some point. He's in this mix somewhere. We got a lap truck we need to pass. I think it's Brian Duzat, and he's coming into the pits. In fact, seems like almost everybody's coming into the pits. Clay Greenfield is in now. We move up into the 10th,
That was your best
or into the
lap
11th
ever.
position. We just set our best lap ever somehow. Despite having a truck that's absolutely trashed at the moment, we're able to run pretty decently. So we are the last truck on the lead lap, but in 11th position. Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing as the truck slides up the track just a little bit. Again, it's still so very loose. That was not as good of a lap as the previous attempt. So we work our way down. Truck just sliding the rear end. And are we gaining on Truex at all? We're losing out to Briscoe. Yeah, we're gaining on Briscoe, not necessarily gaining all that much on Truex. We'll probably gain 2/10 there. But looking at the laps remaining, we've got 8 laps to go in the stage. We just pretty much have to survive at this point. Get it to the end of the stage, and then go for it in the final stage. So we know what we can't do. We can't run on that apron. That's always a trouble spot, and I should have known that going off into turn 1. I was going all for nothing, all or nothing, I should say. It turned out to be all for nothing. We are definitely bearing down on Truex, but we're going to run out of laps, I suspect. We need to make up a second a lap, and we're making up about half a second a lap at the moment. Obviously, this stint got off on the wrong foot when Briscoe got into the back of us on the restart. That was not what we needed. That was no bueno. But I think this final stint is going to be pretty long, so that will hopefully benefit us a little bit. And obviously the green flag pit stop, which you would assume is going to come out, is going to be another key to this race and how it shakes out. Obviously we don't want a Pocono situation where you're kind of like on the edge of can you make it or can you not make it. That was no fun. As we are absolutely running around pretty much by ourselves at the moment. The lap trucks that came out of the pits behind us were well behind, and the trucks that we fell behind because we spun are way out in front. However, this clean track is helping us bear down on the back of the field, but it doesn't really matter. Boy, if I ever wanted the game to mercy kill somebody, I really need Christopher Bell to fall out of this race. Hopefully he's no longer the leader, but I feel like he absolutely is still the leader. As Briscoe falling back, and there is a truck in trouble in turns 3 and 4. Matt Mills. That definitely slowed up the Briscoe and Truex train with that lap truck having trouble. 4 laps to go. Briscoe's beginning to fall back into my clutches. But again, 5 seconds. 5 seconds is a pretty big gap, to say the least. As we work down the back straightaway, almost up into the wall there. Don't want to be doing that. Working off into turn 3. Briscoe looking to the inside of Truex. I just saw out of the corner of my eye there. So he may get him by the line, but who really cares at this point? As we are crossing the line, 3 to go in the stage. We're running pretty consistent lap times, all things considered, with the damage done to our truck as we work the truck up in the outside groove. Well, it seems like it's a good long run truck because we always seem to go faster at the end of the run. So again, I'm just kind of hoping and praying for the end of this race. And I think we're going to have trucks staying out again under this yellow, trying to stretch it for whatever reason. But obviously we're going to take the opportunity to get repairs as we go in within 4 seconds of Ryan Truex, who is now just ahead of us, as Briscoe got around Truex. Working our way out of turn number 2, and it looks like lots of lap traffic as well is going to factor into this. So lots of trucks going 2 laps down to the leader. A very fast pace to this race. Seems like the fast trucks and the slow trucks, there's a big discrepancy between the two of them. down to 3 seconds between us and Truex, but that's probably going to be about where it tops out. We've got 1 lap to go in stage number 2. Working our way through 1 and 2 as the lap trucks are definitely, they're running side by side, and that's allowing us to close in just a little bit. But again, there you go. 11th in stage 2. 11th in stage 2, as it looks like maybe somebody got up in the wall there. It's hard to tell. So their estimated repairs say 0 seconds. Nobody is pitting, which is interesting. There's 29 laps remaining, so everybody is going to have to make 1 more stop. We're definitely going to come in for 4 in fuel and a repair job on the truck. Tyler Young gets the free pass, so Ben Rhodes and I are the only 2 trucks on this strategy. But thank God we're on the inside for once. So let's see what we can make of this. Obviously, we don't want to be on the apron. We discovered that was a bad idea. But the inside lane is where we want to be, and Ross Chastain and John Hunter Nemechek are actually ahead of Christopher Bell right now. Obviously, the requirement for the championship is not necessarily to win the race, it's to be the top chase driver. So Bell is still in championship winning spots, though Cindric is working down to the inside. I wonder if there'll be some team tactics with the Brad Keselowski Racing trucks. So we're going to move in front of Chase Briscoe. The reason is that he's mad at me already. He might give me a super de-duper bump draft down into turn 1 as we work underneath both of the Thor Sport trucks, the yellow ones anyway, and work in behind Regan Smith here, another truck that does not like me. So we've still got an uphill battle here. So we got 20, I don't know how many, 23 laps on fuel to finish the race. We'll see how many laps to go there are. I suspect we won't be able to stretch it, but we'll see. Oh, that's interesting. That is very interesting. There's potential that we could stretch it to the end of the race. Depends on our fuel mileage. Well, let's take a look. We're going to have to see where it's going to go to 21 laps to go on the fuel. Because we're going to come up to 21 laps to go as we work through turns 3 and 4. There, out of turn 4. So theoretically we would run out of fuel out of turn 4. Oh, no, we wouldn't. Yes, we would. Yes. No, we wouldn't. I'm confused. I think we're 1 lap short at the moment.
Hold your line.
As we get up into Regan Smith, of course he's a rival, so that's going to mean that Regan Smith is going to kill me now. That's a good choice there, David. Good choice. I'm going to try to slice the inside of Regan Smith here. Not going to happen. We don't want to lose too much time to Christopher Bell here. We want to stay on his back end. As the fuel number goes to 20 laps with 21 to go.
Are outside.
And passing underneath Regan Smith, and hopefully underneath Cindric as well. But Cindric has got the benefit of the draft as well as Regan Smith does. As Smith is going to give me a little bit of a shot there, working off into turn number 3. As Ross Chastain is going for the lead. How is this possible? Craziness happening here. As Regan Smith is going to give me a bump draft down the main stretch. Thanks, Regan. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right.
And that bump draft will get us right in front of Cindric. Wow, what a slide job that was. And now Cindric not happy that I slid in front of him. He gave me a shot down the back straightaway. Didn't quite pull off the move. I probably could have if I'd really committed to being in front of Cindric, but whatever. We'll work underneath Cindric. Here comes Grant Enfinger with a huge run on the inside. Where did he come from? Still about a lap short on fuel. So we work our way past Cindric. We got to get in front of him, though. We got to get in front of him. There we go. Okay, now we got to commit. We got to commit. It looks like everybody's coming into the pits in front of us. Cindric's going to try to get there. He's going to try to get there. Oh, he's working the inside. That's not where I want him to be. Unless he's coming into the pits, which he is. So Cindric blinks. Bell blinks. We go to the race lead. But we still got a lap discrepancy in fuel. Can we make it to the end? We're going to have to stay out as long as possible, because if a yellow comes out, we're saved. And even more to the point, if a yellow comes out, we've lapped the field. So we can pretty much do whatever we want as we hit 16 laps to go there, coming through turn number 3. So fuel mileage seems to be getting worse rather than better. As we come across the line, 17 to go. That'll be an awfully long way to stretch it. But if we do need to come in for a splash, it should be a very quick stop. Only gonna need a half can of fuel, if that, to complete this race. As I was very iffy about where we were relative to the back end of the truck. The truck was kind of slipping and sliding a little bit there as we hit 16 laps to go, 15 on the fuel. Again, 1 lap difference. That's what this is going to come down to. 1 lap of fuel. And I'm not going to try to stretch it. We're going to come in and take that fuel stop. But again, we need to stay out as long as possible because the yellow can and will come out. It's on strict yellows. So if somebody blows a tire, somebody gets into each other, or a couple guys get into each other, I should say, that's it. The championship is ours. We're still essentially in the catbird seat at the moment. You would assume that Christopher Bell and the rest of the field are in some heavy lap traffic. Let's actually take a look at the running order if we can. Okay, so Cindric is actually running in 4th. Hill is in 5th. Don't know who the closest championship rival is, but Tyler Young and Ben Rhodes are the other two in the hunt for the race win. But again, the race win is secondary at the moment. 13 laps to go on the fuel. I would assume I just crossed over the line and took 14 laps to go. It didn't actually see the number, so we're going to have to see as we come around the next time as it goes to 12 laps remaining on the fuel halfway down the back straightaway. Just working in the middle of the track here. And we're starting to see some lap trucks as well. It's going to be a question of whether or not we get up and start lapping them. So yeah, 13 to go. Some tense moments here at Homestead. Who is going to get it? Are we going to be able to pull off this Truck Series championship? Certainly seems possible at the moment. But again, we've got to keep digging. We've got to keep digging. You'd also have to assume the guys who came in had a longer pit stop because, of course, they needed to fuel the car up, or fuel the truck up, I should say. And now we're working around the center portion of 1 and 2. 10 remaining in the tank, 11 in the race. The race right now is Rhodes 7.8 behind, Young 15 seconds, Cindric a lap back, as well as Regan Smith. And what I'm worried about a little bit is coming out of the pits near Regan Smith or Austin Cindric. That's another thing that could happen. A rival trying to wreck me for the championship. It could happen. It's a possibility. As Tyler Young, I believe, has blinked, and he comes into the pits. So there goes Tyler Young as a potential race winner, and we'll be able to find out very shortly who will move up into that 5th position as Cindric and Smith will pass Young momentarily, as we've got 10 laps remaining in the race. Almost got a 9-second lead over Ben Rhodes. We're coming up behind Brian Duzat, a truck that does not like me, so we've got to lap him efficiently and cleanly. Emphasis on the clean. So we dive to the inside of Brian Duzat and lap him again, easily and cleanly. 9.5 seconds back to Ben Rhodes. Grant Infinger is the 5th place truck. So Christopher Bell not anywhere in the picture at the moment. And just as I say that, he moves up into the 5th spot. So Bell knows what he needs to do to get this championship.
Easy. Hold your line.
We've now got 10 seconds on Ben Rhodes, 10.3. Rhodes is really falling through the field. We're falling back significantly. I don't think he's coming into the pits, but now we've got more trucks coming off into the pits. That's interesting. Are they going to have to pit twice? That would be a very big revelation. So we work underneath Clay Greenfield quite easily. No problem there. 7 laps remaining in the race. Now Ben Rhodes, and yeah, we've got trucks working to the inside, and they are pitting. It may be just the lapped trucks.
Car in front of us is headed to the pit.
I suspect it's not the lead lap trucks, but man, that's interesting. Okay. Christopher Bell is up to 4th now, behind Cindric, as I was paying attention to the lap trucks there. So Christopher Bell, again, doing what he needs to do to win this championship. As some lappers come out of the pits ahead of me. 5 laps remaining on the fuel. As we come in behind Joe Nemechek. And hopefully Joe Nemechek will help us by just not being, just being very nice. I'm not racing your son for the championship. Your team isn't involved in it. Just thank you, Joe Nemechek. And now we come up behind Jennifer Joka. And hopefully we'll be in underneath her very quickly, and indeed we are.
Clear high.
Now in behind Travis, or underneath Travis Quaffle. And we've just got to get around. Get around, get around. Can you tell I'm nervous?
Only 5 laps left.
There you go, 5 to go, 3 on fuel.
Stay right there. Clear up top.
So we'll be pitting with 2 to go, essentially. Let's see where we switch to 2 laps. It's not come on yet. Not yet. Not yet. Still no 2 laps remaining on fuel. There, right out of turn 4. So there you go. There you go. 4 laps to go. This is intense. Very, very intense. There you go. You just heard the spotter say we're running on fumes. We're going to come around the next time and come into the pits. So 1 more flying lap. I'm going to try to go as fast as we can here, get a good in lap before we have our out lap. Ben Rhodes is 14.5 seconds behind. Christopher Bell falls to 5th as Ross Chastain gets around him. Fuel, 1 lap remaining in the tank.
We're almost out of gas.
Yes, sir. I hear you. I hear you. Okay, we got to enter the pits properly here. And down, speed down, nice and easy, nice and easy, nice and easy, nice and easy.
Slower, slower.
There we go. Okay.
Slower. Two to go.
Okay, here we go. Half a can of fuel. Cindric just unlapped himself. I saw him. So here we go. I don't even want to look yet. I don't even want to look at our position. I'm not looking until we come out of the pits. We're in 2nd. Doesn't matter. Where are we in terms of the race? For the championship. We are 2nd. Ben Rhodes somehow managed to stay out an extra lap. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Ben Rhodes can do what Ben Rhodes wants to do. Christopher Bell, 12.9 behind.
Final lap.
Last lap. And we just passed Ben Rhodes for the lead. So I'm going to be very cautious behind these two trucks. I know Gilliland doesn't like me, so we need to just stay away from him. Christopher Bell is going to be fourth. We are going to come around turns 3 and 4, working in the high groove, just driving very, very conservatively off of turn 4, and we are going to take the NASCAR Truck Series Championship.
Great job. You did it.
Yeah, we won. We take the championship. Just look at that group of cars. So many trucks to lap down. Cody Coughlin ended up out of the race, as well as Matt Mills. Oh boy, wow. So what did we get in exchange for a victory? 50,000 macaroonies in the bank, along with 750 or 7,500 bucks. Good stuff. And of course, we advanced to winning the championship. Okay, let's celebrate in victory lane, shall we? And there it is. The Camping World Truck Series Championship, not just a race win. I appreciate that detail. That's a nice detail. Good job. Good job, 704 Games. And there we are, celebrating not only a victory at Homestead, but a championship. The old Smithfield Denny Hamlin throwback truck. Let's head back to the garage, see what we have got from this championship. We are the champions, my friends. Bam, bam, bam. And that has never been done before. And there we go. We finally got an incentive contract. We got $26,000 from Vittoria Racing. They're like, hey, good job. You won the championship. Okay, we'll accept that. Guidance Counselor Brad, he's back.
Camping World Truck Series champion. Wow, great job. We all thought you'd be here someday. Now let's see what you can do on the next level.
Yeah, thanks, Guidance Counselor Brad. You were always very nice to me. Now that the season is over, it's time to look at your contracts and sign with a team for next year. Oh, are we doing this now? I guess we'll do this now. What team are we going to sign for? Oh, hey, guess what? We don't have to do that yet. We'll do it in the next video. What Xfinity team will I sign for? Find out. And guess